We start in Garrettsville. Garfield, the head coach of the boys program, Andrew Olesky, joining us live. Coach, thanks so much for coming on and being a part of the show.
Oh, hey, thanks for inviting me. This is one of my favorite preseason interviews, so I've been looking forward to this all day, so thank you.
Well, we appreciate that, Coach. We don't give me too big of a head, though. All right, before we talk about all the exciting stuff you have going on this year, let's kind of recap last year, some of the things that you think you guys went through and your returning players can kind of learn coming into this year.
We went through a lot last year, everything from, battling a little bit of inexperience. We battled some injuries. We battled, you name it, we handled it. And I'm going to use that as a positive going into this year. We are going to learn from those experiences, both as players and coaches too, to make ourselves better and more, improved this season. And the cool thing about that is we went through all that stuff with kind of a younger-ish group. We do return 6 seniors this year that, went through it all last year. So we're going to turn that into a positive. Like I said, we battled some things, and once things finally got rolling in the mid to second half of the season, things did improve. We won a tournament game on the road, and it did get better. But again, we want to build off those positives and moving into this season.
What kind of a benefit is it to have 6 returning seniors that all went through that and kind of, now you can say there's nothing that we're going to go through that these guys haven't been through before?
Well, it's a huge benefit. You always want experience. You always want the kids who have been through it. You always want kids that, have proven themselves before. And that's not a knock on any player that doesn't have the experience. I'm just stating as a fact of something we have as our team this year. And I believe that to be a positive. Anything, and it's not just basketball, having kids that have that experience playing in front of crowds or playing in pressure situations or playing on the road or, whatever it might be. It's always a positive for those kids to have been there, done that. So it's not something like they're looking around a little nervous. They're not looking around like we've never been here before. So again, I try to turn every situation into a positive. I don't always do that vocally. I try to do that internally as well. But yeah, it's a definite positive for us.
Let's have a meet the team segment. This is our favorite part. We get to learn the names and the faces that we'll be seeing on the court this year for Garfield. Shout out the roster and the big names that we're going to be hearing a lot.
Okay, I will start with our seniors. As I said, we do return 6 of them this year. Last year's leading scorer is Preston Gedeon. He's come in, had a great first few weeks of practice, few weeks of the season. Aiden Hill returns. I always call him a tremendous all-around player who does literally everything for us, from handling the ball to rebounding to shooting to inside, outside, you name it. Nick Edick, I always say that he is the kid who does everything that helps us on the court that isn't really measured in or on the stat sheet. He's just had a tremendous first few weeks to the season, and I'm excited for him. Cade Rock, big man down low. Last year, he kind of joined us midway later into the season and just altered and blocked a tremendous amount of shots. He impacts the game defensively with his length down low. It's very exciting. Damian Torville, he is an athletic forward who works hard for us. Tyler Lutz, another one of those players that does all the little things for us. A selfless player, a tough player. We're excited for those kids. And then we've got some kids making jumps this year. Brandon Bogucki, just a menace on the defensive end. We're looking at other younger kids. Oliver Walker, an exciting basketball player, along with Devin Bates, Cam Chapman, Colin McGranahan. And they all just bring things to this team that they're different, So it's not like we have 4 kids that play exactly the same. So as a coach, that again allows us to, mix and match and try some different things. And we've actually been trying that the last few nights in practices and scrimmages, trying different lineups, tweaking and looking at kids in different places. And, that's an exciting part of this season. And it's also an exciting part of our team. So I'm looking forward to it. And, those kids and all the other ones that I didn't mention, they're all doing a great job right now. And it's very exciting right now.
Can I just say that I love that you have a post player named Rock?
Yeah.
That's just
I never thought about that. That's a good point. So
the headlines write themselves. It makes it easier for us.
Yes.
Coach, let's talk about your schedule. We'll transition into the MVAC first. You play in the grade tier. We know how tough this is in boys basketball and the different styles of basketball also in the grade tier that you're going to see. Talk about how you see it lining up and what you're so excited about the conference this year.
You hit it on the head right there. every single team in our conference has a roster of talented players. Every single team in our conference has a great head coach and a great coaching staff. And then you said it too. They all play different styles. They all do different things. They bring different things to the table. And I think as a fan, if you're a fan of the conference and a fan of the league, you're going to have a competition to the end of the season. I can sit here and make a case for every single team for those reasons. And again, I go through all these interviews and people always ask me who's the favorite in my opinion. And I always try to give the politically correct answer of, you can make a case for every single team. And it's the truth because of what I just said, that all the players, all the coaches in our league, and they all do different things. And as a coach that's going against those, it's challenging because you have to prepare differently each time for each team. So it's an exciting league. And I said it last year with you guys, our league is good. We are in a good basketball conference. And again, that's a credit to everybody involved.
This is the first year that Ravenna Southeast will be in the MVAC, and that's a team that I know Garfield specifically very familiar with from before they were in the MVAC. How excited are you to kind of renew that conference rivalry and have those guys on the schedule twice a year?
I mean, honestly, that's not something I really sat down and thought about. Like, no, I'm excited Southeast is back. It just is what it is. But it does help that being at Garfield, we have a familiarity with them. We played them last year non-league at our place, and their head coach, nice guy, he does a great job. They are going to be tough. They are going to be physical. They are going to run their stuff. They are going to play defense. They are going to shoot it well. And again, they just embody exactly what I just said. Great head coach, talented players, and a challenge on the night you play them. So it's exciting all around.
When there's a lot on the line in conference play, when you go outside of the conference, it's all about getting ready for postseason, testing yourself, and sharpening the tools. So talk about the teams that pop up outside of the conference that you're excited about.
Our non-league, that is kind of exciting. Again, I know I'll never sit here and pick one team that we're circling on the calendar, but our non-league is mostly our county foes, and that's very exciting because it brings crowds. It brings the old school crowds into the gymnasium, brings a different atmosphere. We play some schools this year that we haven't played from Portage County. So I'm trying to think offhand what Portage County schools we don't play. I don't have that readily on my mind right now, but we play mostly the Portage County schools, and that's exciting for the kids. It kind of has that old school rivalry, and the games we played last year against the county schools, the gyms were packed, and it's loud, it's exciting. One that our team is looking forward to, and I'm going to say this because it's kind of exciting. This isn't meant to single them out or single no one else out. We are actually playing Waterloo in Indiana this year at the Hoosier Gym. So we're looking forward to that experience of a kind of a trip, team bonding trip, hitting the road, playing in the gym that they filmed Hoosiers in. That's exciting. But again, they're all exciting for different reasons, and we're excited all around.
I think you're underplaying that a little bit. That is so exciting.
Yeah,
and that's two YSN teams too. We are looking. Maybe we'll have to make a trip to Indiana with you. Maybe Ty Bartel can hop on the bus.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome, Coach.
Yeah.
When you talk about the things that you're looking forward to in the next couple of weeks and scrimmages and practices that you want to get done, things on your checklist that you want to make sure their team gets squared away before game one, what's still on your checklist so far for the last couple of weeks of preseason?
Well, we want to improve every single day and every single aspect of the game. There has been a big emphasis early on our offensive strategies and our philosophies because we want to make sure that we're executing that to the best of our ability. And they're learning those every single day. We added some new wrinkles last night in practice. And I think they're buying in, they're understanding it slowly but surely. I think they're kind of getting those aha moments where we did some things in the scrimmages and they're like, oh, yeah, that's what you're talking about right there. And every time we do the things we're preaching, the offense looks pretty good and we're scoring. So we want to continue to grow on that end where we're eliminating those mistakes and we're trying to capitalize as best as we can each time. And at the same time, we are trying a few new things defensively this year. And that's actually going pretty well right now. They're picking up on the concepts pretty quickly. So that's a positive and that's a credit to our kids. But, as a coach, you're going to get coach speak here. I want to improve on every single aspect of the game, every single day in practice. And I know that's not realistic, but if I had to pinpoint those two things, those would be it.
We don't shy away from coach talk here, Coach. You're
more than
welcome. Let's talk about your staff. You've been a part of our coaches' corners before. We never end them without you giving you the opportunity to shine a light on the people that are working with you, behind you. for this coaching staff. Talk about the people that are making this program what it is.
And like I always say, I'm glad you asked this question because I know, and I always say I have the title head coach, but our staff always does work in unison, and we make decisions together. And not to sound like the Browns here, but we collaborate all the time. But making the move from the JV, he was JV coach last year, but he was still very much involved. Matt Hill is the varsity assistant this year, and he and I are always in communication. In fact, I think the last several nights on my drive home, I have about a 45-minute drive home every day. I am calling him on my phone, and we are talking things out. We are breaking things down, positive, negative. We are, tweaking ideas, throwing things off each other. So he and I are in lockstep. He's always got an idea and it bounce off me. And, usually we give it a try. And I'm very lucky to have Matt and the kids are too. So, and he's huge behind the scenes. And, I don't really tell him ever in person, thank you, but I know he's watching right now. So thanks, Matt. I know you're huge to the program and the kids love you. And then Zach Smith, we have a new JV coach this year. Zach Smith is he was in the middle school program last year. I know Zach very well. He played for me when he graduated. He graduated in 2000 and I should know this, but 2018, he was a starter on our district championship team. So he joins us as the JV coach, and he's doing a great job. He's getting better every single day. He's learning, making that jump on what it's like to be a coach for me as opposed to a player. But the three of us get along so well. And I've always said this, that I don't think I've ever coached with an assistant coach. I've always coached with friends. And once again, this just embodies this. So very lucky to have Matt, very lucky to have Zach, and we're excited.
Coach, we know staff is important, but we also know people at home that let you make the sacrifices that you have to make to be a head coach are also important. Can you give a shout out to the people in your life that kind of don't get to see you as much during the basketball season, that sacrifice what they're able to sacrifice for you to be able to do what you love?
Right. It's everybody. And I'm going to tell a funny story about it. It literally is everybody. And it's not fair to single one or two people out or nobody out. I'm going to tell this story because I remember sitting at my high school banquets, and my head coach would go up to the podium, and the first thing he would do is he would thank his wife. And I'm sitting there like, well, what'd she do? We're the ones out there busting our tails. But now I get it. It's everybody in your personal life that sacrifices. And again, I could mention everybody in my personal life, the help I'm getting from letting my dogs out to, the things I miss, from holidays to opportunities with everybody. It's everybody. And people need to know that. I think a lot of people come to the games and they see us, coaching for a few hours on Tuesday and Friday nights, and they think that's it. No, it's not. So that's a great question. And I hope that every coach is able to recognize those people in their life, because if you were in my life, it's everybody. So thank you for that. Thank you for your sacrifices. Because I know it can be annoying sometimes when you're trying to plan things and I'm like, no, I got practice. I can't be there. I got a game. I can't be there. So I'm glad you asked that question.
Coach, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We wish you the best of luck. We'll be out there covering you. So we'll talk again real soon.
Oh, sounds good. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.